Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Happiness Matters, the show with me, Beanie Man, and my sidekick Mo, which, as I'm in my office and doing Zoom, he is somewhere in the house. He'll probably come up to the window at some point barking at people, but it's the Mo and Beanie show. So anyway, today I have an amazing guest here, and we met through the internet when I put out a call for guests, and her name is, okay, I'll let her introduce you because I don't want to butcher her name. I know Caroline, even the first name, I know it's Carolina, but she probably pronounces it a little bit different. So anyway, So welcome to the show. Very good. So it is Carolina Herrera Flores. Did I get it right?
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, I did not butcher it. Thank you. So anyway, thank you so much for being on the show. And we just talked a little bit, and you told me a little bit about you. So I'm going to make you tell our audience again, because I really like your story and how you came to America, and how you're building your dream. So I love that. So go ahead.
All right. So my name is Carolina Herrera Flores. I am an author. I wrote Learn, Commit, Grow with Personal Yoga last year, September 8th. Of 2018, and this year I wrote Wellness Core Secrets, your guide for busy caretakers and yogi professionals.
I like that.
Yeah. So I am originally from South America, Colombia.
I love your accent.
I know. All I have to say is Colombia, and everybody's like, "Oh, okay, I got you."
No, own it, girlfriend. Own it.
So I came here when I was very young. I was a 15-year-old kid, basically. And my dad offered me a deal because those parties are huge in Latin America. When you turn 15, it's like you're going into a different phase. You all of a sudden are like this señorita. And
it's like all grown up.
Yeah, and so you get to make some decisions now. I mean, you're not 18 yet, but you're starting to prepare yourself for that.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, he was like, "Okay, do you want a party, or do you want a trip, or what do you want?" I was like, "Okay, sure, I want the trip." And he was like, "All right, where do you want to go?" So I was like, "Sure, essentially, just take me." Paris was the big one.
Paris is amazing.
Yeah, Italy.
That's amazing.
China.
I haven't been there yet, but I hear it's amazing.
Yeah, I don't know. And he was like, "Okay, sure." He just kept listening.
Keep dreaming, like, girl. Keep dreaming.
Oh my God, girl. I got myself into trouble. I should have never asked. Well, he was like, "I'm sorry, I can't do that for you, but what we can do is we can send you to the United States."
Nice.
Minnesota. Yeah. So I was like, Minnesota, sure. That sounds
I
good.
All the places in the States. I hope it wasn't winter time.
It was.
All right. Welcome to America.
Right. It was November 17th, the day of my birthday. I got off the plane. I was wearing my mom knits. So she made some gloves for me. I was all pretty. Oh my gosh. I stepped off and I was like, "Oh, please, just take me back. This is way too cold." I don't think, I thought, okay, maybe tomorrow, or maybe I landed at night. Maybe tomorrow will be better. And then no, it got worse. But the pretty thing is I got to experience snow, and then I got to experience and get to know weather, which is a pretty big topic here,
right,
in the north part of the globe.
Yes, people get all 4 seasons in one day here in Colorado, so
Yeah. So it was a pretty nice experience where I got to build some knowledge upon what is the weather and because back home we do experience some changes during the
Right.
day, but
Mm-hmm.
it's not like drastic.
Yeah.
We will get some rain, and then we'll get some other,
Right. I have a dog here in my eye that's
oh,
bugging me.
okay.
It's okay. I'm listening.
All right. So
I just make funny faces.
so basically I decided to stay in Minnesota and finish up some schooling. I went to the university there,
Oh, nice.
and I did some nursing degrees. Then I got some jobs, and I flew back down to Dallas, Texas, because it's warmer here and I like
That's
it
where
better.
you're at right now, right? You're in Dallas? Yeah.
Yes. And I live here now, and I fell in love with yoga. Yoga was one of those things. I'm a busy professional myself. I work in healthcare, and healthcare is a little bit much. You're dealing with issues that no one really does get to deal with, but somebody has to do it, right? And
Absolutely.
yeah. And so, how do you really take care of yourself when your days are that busy? I mean, I started going to yoga. I became a yoga instructor. I would work really, really hard, an hour each day, to work on my breath and my body. And I got to a point where I just couldn't sustain the two. I either had to do one or the other.
And a lot of people struggle with that. It's like, how do we keep that balance? And because we all have such busy lives, and it's like, well, I guess this is more important right now. I'm going to do this later. And then sometimes later never comes.
Yeah. Yeah. So for me, it's still a struggle. I don't want to leave either. And I want to make sure I put into my day and I teach others how to master their breath and include a 10-minute yoga practice that is very personal, that is completely off the grid, no computers, no internet. Okay, so what I say with my books and all is you might have to get yourself started with some type of technology, and especially if you're creating a system around your personal yoga practice, you basically need some type of device to help you measure
Right.
what you're doing. So I do use my watch, and I get to measure how much stress I'm coming off, I'm getting rid of when I spend those 10 minutes. Basically, I see improvements every time. I also see improvements on my ability, my body's ability to take in oxygen, which is the VO2 max. Now,
well, it's kind of important, It's like, I'm really fond of oxygen.
yeah.
I mean,
Well, you
it ranks
basically
right up
need
there.
it. Yeah. You need it.
I know, right?
Yeah, to live, and your brain needs it, your body needs it, your lungs need it. So it is an opportunity that you're giving yourself throughout the day to really bond with your cells in your body and create that inner interaction that you just never do, because breathing is automatic to you, so you never think about it. You never even think about, okay, I'm going to breathe and then I'm going to move my arm. You never do that. If you do, you may be stuck in a very tense situation.
Okay.
And when you find out, is your body telling you, hey, this hurts. Can you do something about it? Or this hurts? Yeah. So I go about it 10 minutes a day. Sometimes I'm able to do a full hour. Sometimes I'm just with my 10 minutes. And then sometimes my guilty times is when I just forget about it. Because I am a busy person and I'm human.
And you're human.
Yeah. So we forget about it. And I also sometimes do like to take a break, because when I take a break and then I come back to it, I'm like 10,000 times stronger at it
Nice.
and more focused.
Right. And sometimes we just need to take a break, even from things that we really enjoy. You know, we just need to take a step back sometimes and just be still and do nothing.
Right.
And just take a pause. And but the key is really is not feel guilty about it. It's like it's your body telling you, take care of you. You know, do nothing right now.
Yeah.
And don't feel guilty about it. It's just like, just say thank you. Move on. And then, and like you said, you know, when you come back to it, you feel so much stronger and so much more invigorated about it. And it's a whole nother level that you're going to be on.
Yeah. Yeah. So acknowledging that is super, super important. And so there's, if you consider, you know, working with a personal yoga teacher like myself, I am very structured. I do come from healthcare. So, you know, I'm not military, but it's pretty similar, you know.
Close.
We'll be measuring up, you know, a few things about health and hoping to improve those numbers and get you in a mind frame where you can see for yourself that you're improving and that you're creating some balance and that you're feeling good about your days and your lungs and your brains and that you're taking care of them and you're thinking about them. Because on most people, we care about the outside. We're busy, you know, we have families, we need to feed them, and so our busyness takes over.
Right. And a lot of times we forget about ourselves, and it's like, and I tell people too, it's like, you cannot pour from an empty cup. We are that cup. So you need to fill your cup with the good, with the love, with the self-care, with, you know, everything good, so you can function and give others what you really want to give them.
Yeah. And sometimes self-care is what we were saying, not enough. You know, you have to take the break, even from self-care, and do what your body is telling you to do. Now, I always say, if you are looking into yoga, what we do here is we take what I learned from being a beginner at yoga and incorporate those beginner practices into your day. So we're talking about modern yoga. I am not really going to teach you about yoga per se. I'm not that teacher. Those teachers are basically at a yoga studio, and that's what they do. They teach you, you know, the 8 limbs of yoga, and then they teach you some of the spiritual backgrounds, roots of the word or the place where it comes from. It was really interesting. Just last weekend, I was at a conference. It was called Think and Grow Rich. It's the legendary tour, world tour, that John Shin put together and Bill Walsh. And we were there, and I met this person from India. And he was telling me, you know, yoga, it's such a big word right now these days. Everybody wants to do like beer yoga, goat yoga, kitty yoga, running yoga, laughing yoga. Lots of yoga out there.
Right.
And that's you know, personal yoga. That's another example. But what I'm trying to get to is, it does not matter what type of yoga you do. What you're really doing here, if we look at it from like that scientific lens, is you're taking in your 2 molecules of oxygen, bond together by a covalent bond, going into your lungs, and then the lungs to the heart, and then the heart to the body, and then the body releases carbon and then some oxygen too. And you're making your body conscious about that, and you're feeling really good about it. Because of that, you will be able to see some results.
Right. Absolutely.
So
and I tell people too, because what I do a lot of times, because so many people, I mean, most people are reactive. So something happens and then they just really spew out whatever's inside. Again, you know, that cup thing. And so many times we're just filled with anger and frustration because of whatever. So what I tell people, I do a quick breathing exercise, you know, for the heart-brain connection. And it's just that instant calm. you know, and sometimes I actually do that before I start meditating and do my breathing exercises and everything. I just do that quick calm down. So, and so I totally get what you're saying with the breathing and that whole everything connection.
Yeah, yeah. So we have this brain, right? And it's
So we hope anyway we have a brain.
yeah. It's so connected to us, and the brain is like a city. You know, it has different areas.
Right.
And so each area is in charge of something.
Right.
And it's busy all the time. I mean, even when you're meditating, it's going to be busy. It's going to be telling you, hey,
breathe.
What you can do next?
Keep breathing.
Well, actually, you have to tell your brain, okay, shut up, let's breathe.
Right.
I'm in control now. You tell me what to do in a little bit. We just need to bond. You know, it's like you have a child that's really loud and it's crying and it's telling you, please, please love me. Yeah. Okay, that's basically what your brain does sometimes. And especially if you're a busy person, like really busy. So the brain also works with the vagus nerve, which is,
I think I got it now.
Did you?
And I was like, I love my dog, but he has sometimes those really fine hairs.
Oh.
And they get stuck, and it's like, get out! I can't see. It's bothering me. So I'm like, anyway, I'm sorry. But no, our brain is amazing.
Yeah.
It is amazing. And here's the thing too. The brain and the mind are two different things. The brain is the physical thing. The mind is the place that science has not figured out yet exactly where and what. And I love that.
Yeah. It's a big topic. So I like to think of it, and there's various opinions on this. I've read some peers, and Harvard has put out some really interesting articles about this. But the brain is, there's, you know, that city that I was talking to you about where there's many functions, and then the mind might just be the works of it. So for example, you know, you've got muscles, and the work of the muscle is to move your hand. So the brain has the function of the mind, you know, it's also part of the brain.
Right.
And the result of a healthy brain is a healthy mind. And
all connected.
Yeah.
I love that. So how did you find the 10-minute yoga that you practice and teach?
I found it through my own personal study. So I knew that, for example, I had to learn a whole yoga class for a whole hour. And for me, it was really hard. It was really hard. I was never really able to focus that whole lot of time to let my mind do that whole class. And so I had to learn it in 10 minutes at a time.
My computer was like, hello.
Yeah. So that's how I would practice, and that's what I would work. And I way before going into yoga, I've always been a very active person. So I like to bike, I like to exercise, nice. I like to lift weights. And after those sessions, I do my 10 minutes of personal yoga, but I didn't measure it, or I didn't find any love into it. I just knew that I had to do it, and it felt good after practicing intense exercise and athletic needs. I knew that I had to stretch my muscles, but I never was as persistent and consistent with it. So
most people aren't. I mean, we're humans. We're not. We're like, oh, we want to do this. You know, we get started and then we forget because it's a new habit and life takes over. And I mean, I'm no exception to that. So And
Yeah.
it's really easy. And then, but the key really is don't beat yourself up. And when you notice it, just get back to it. Right?
Yeah. 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 And and like I said, if you see, so if you probably took a break from it, you needed that break, and now you can go back at it stronger because you know that you really missed it and that you really like it. So for me, it's been about 12 years since I've been
Wow.
practicing yoga. Yeah. And I knew that I was very consistent with my hour-long yoga for many years, but I had the time. I was a student and no family, no husband, no nothing.
Right.
So I could just spend hours and hours.
Focus on you. Yeah, no, I get that.
As life takes different shapes and forms, you do have to learn priorities and work them around your schedule. And that's what I've been doing with the 10 minutes, inspiring a bunch of people to take my classes and understand why you lead a practice and make something beautiful out of it. So basically, if you read my 2 books, you'll understand where you can see the growth process too, as we have moved. I think part of what was really interesting for me was that I went to this yoga studio that I love. I still go. Well, not right now because I'm pregnant, so I can't do hot yoga.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So I am really focused on my own breathing, and I started there, and I started thinking, oh, well, I'm going to be this awesome, legendary, yoga teacher because I am so cool,
And you are. Own it.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't really like that for me. I started teaching yoga at studios, and I didn't like it. Just didn't like it. I noticed, because I'm a nurse, I noticed people weren't breathing right. And it just really got me worried during my class.
Okay.
Like, this isn't really helping anybody right now. So I was worried about myself, and I was worried about my students. And I decided, you know what, how about we just focus on the breath until we, move along. And could be that in a few years from now, I will be teaching more.
Right.
More like, on studios and things like that. But for right now, I feel that there's a need. And
I agree because every once in a while I go in a yoga studio here, and then they moved the class because I have mobility issues. So I was doing a somatic movement class, which I absolutely love, but then they moved it to in the middle of the week, in the middle of the day, and I'm like, I'm out. I can't do. But I noticed too, even with that, I was focused on my own breathing, which made me aware, not just my own breathing, but to the people around. And I totally get what you're saying with the breathing. It's like, because we're so focused on the movement, we forget the breathing. But it's like, if we don't breathe right, it's like the movements, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like the movements are not as effective as they should be, because we're not breathing right.
Yeah.
No.
And they're pretty fun classes, the yoga studio ones.
They're very fun, and I love meeting people, and it is fun, it is relaxing, it is calming, and it's like, but the more I grow and the more I learn too, and then I have amazing people like you on my show now, and I'm learning more, and I'm like, oh, looking back, yeah, absolutely. And but the breathing thing is huge.
Yeah. And so the community too that gets built when you go into yoga is important, because as you are now your own teacher on personal yoga, you have to understand that you're also not doing things correctly. So you have to double check with yourself. So you do have to go into those classes and make sure that your alignment is proper, because sometimes, yes, okay, fine, you got your breathing down, but now you want to add movement,
right?
Then you come to a personal yoga or instructor, or you go to your tribe basically and do your thing.
Nice.
there and maybe have a chat with your yogi instructor and double check that you are doing things correctly.
Oh, I like that. So, quick question, because we're coming to the end here too. Do you have a quick breathing exercise for us that our viewers can do at any time to help them focus on their breathing?
I do.
Oh, yay!
So, yay. So you will know from now from a normal adult. So if you're a normal adult, you don't have any breathing problems, you have no issues with your lungs or your heart or anything like that, you can slow your breathing in half for about a minute with 6 fingers.
Oh.
So basically, if you are breathing on your own, you are typically taking 12 to 20 breaths per minute. So what you're aiming to do...
I don't know if you all heard that. That was Mo.
Your dog. Hey, Mo. He's like, I want to do it too.
I don't know. It's like we also have a cat, so I think Mo had the hairball.
Oh.
It's all good.
Well, if you don't have a hairball and you're able to breathe, you can do 6 minutes. So here it goes.
Okay.
So it's take a inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you do that 6 times, counting with your fingers.
Okay.
That's a minute.
Wow. That's cool. And that's so easy to do.
Yeah. And it's a great workout for your lungs and your brain.
I like that. And I can do the count of 6 because I've done, I went to some meditations where like count to like 9 or something. And I'm like, ooh.
Yeah. So
like,
5
I can't do that, but
seconds.
I can do the count to 6. I've learned, with my breathing. I mean, I've gotten better too, but I can do 6 and I'm okay with 6.
Yeah.
Works for me. So I like that.
So basically the minute has 60 seconds.
Right.
So you take 5 seconds to breathe in and 5 seconds to breathe out. And you do that 6 times.
I love that. It's so easy.
Yeah.
You count to 5, not to 6. Why was I thinking we count to 6? 5 is even better. I can definitely count to 5 with a breath.
Yeah. So
that
10
is
seconds, 5 seconds to inhale, 5 seconds to exhale.
very cool. Isn't that easy, guys? Everybody can do that. So if you need to like a break in your work day or in your busy schedule, while you're watching the kids, now that school started again, you watch them at their games and you just need to tune out, just do your breathing exercises. It's so cool.
Yeah.
Go in your own little zone, and for me, it's when I get in my own little zone, like when I do the breathing and stuff, it's just everything around me tunes out. Hi, Mo. Everything just tunes out. And it's like, ooh, vacation. I like it.
Yeah.
That is so awesome. Well, I really appreciate it. I love what you're doing. I've always found, I was always fascinated with yoga. That there's some I can do. There's a lot with it that I cannot do because of my mobility issues. But I learned that the yoga studio I went to, they just started adaptive yoga, which I'm going to check out. I just need to, because it's on Thursday evenings, and it's like really Thursday evenings. That's when I have a lot of events. But I'll make time for that and do it. And it's really important, guys. Find time for you. Whether it's 10 minutes, 15 minutes, half an hour, take a day. And I laughed. On another show, I mentioned that Sunday is my day. Sundays I brush teeth. That's about the extent of my exertion on Sundays. I brush teeth. But we need that. That's when I recharge my batteries. And I know I have a lot of friends that do yoga, and that's for them, it's recharging batteries. So whatever you need to do to recharge your batteries, do it. If it adds joy to your life, you raise your vibration, do it. Just do it. It's awesome. It's fun. It's good. And it's necessary. So
That's right, yogis.
yep. Well, I'm not a yogi, but I'm working on it.
Sounds like you are.
Oh, is
Everybody's a
so
yogi.
anybody that does yoga or has done yoga would be considered a yogi?
Absolutely. If you're breathing, you're a yogi.
I like it.
Yeah.
I can
You
live
can
with
be.
it. This
Yeah.
is awesome. And I will put your contact info, as I always do with my guests, in the credits. So if people want to reach out to you, you know, for questions or maybe hire you or whatever, they're more than welcome to do that. And I want to thank you so much for being on the show, for sharing your story, how you came here and how that all came about in Minnesota.
Yeah.
I'm still like, welcome to America. I mean, Minnesota is beautiful in the summer.
Yeah.
And in the spring. Winter? I'm not a winter person. I'm more like I like 75 and a nice breeze. That's my thing. So, but anyway, no, but thank you so much, Carolina, for sharing your story and your passion for what you do and the love for what you do and the insights and the breathing exercise. I love that. That is awesome. So
Awesome.
thank
Keep
you
it up.
so much.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right, yogis. See you next time.
All right. Thank you all for watching another episode. I hope you got some value out of this one too. And as always, be happy, be kind, be love. Have a great one. Bye.
Bye.